Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video where I have another Canon R50 video for you guys. Now in today's video, I'm going to show you some settings to help optimize your color coming directly out of the camera without having to go over to HDR PQ mode if that is a setting you don't want to mess with, but you do want something better than the standard color profile. Now, I've played with all the color profiles that are default in this camera, and I'll be honest, standard's not the worst that I have seen. They've made a lot of improvements to the standard on this camera, and it's very much like what's on the Canon R10 and the R7, maybe even the R5 and the R6. But it doesn't really do well with skin tones. It also doesn't really do well when you have different types of light on a subject's face, as it tends to blow out the highlights quite easily. And considering a lot of people are going to be purchasing the Canon R50 for use for vlogging, for using as a webcam, for using as streaming and content creation, the basic color situation and color profile coming out of this camera is going to affect a lot of people. Now, the settings I'm going to show you guys are extremely easy to set up. You're not going to have to download any type of software or any type of third-party profile plugins. Now, as far as the specific settings that I use, I can't take full credit for that. I first found these settings quite a few months ago from a friend of mine and fellow YouTuber, Cody Scott, whose channel I will link down in the comments section below, but he suggested these exact same settings for use on the Canon R6. And they worked extremely well on the R6, and they also worked extremely well on my Canon R5, so I figured I would give them a shot also on the Canon R50, and they worked absolutely great. I was super happy with them. Now, so far for every R50 video I've done, I have been using these settings, and this one is no different as this video is being recorded with the Canon R50 and the RF 16mm 2.8 lens. Alright, the first thing you're going to want to do is hit the menu button on your camera once you are in the video mode. You're going to want to scroll over to number 3 menu, and then you're going to want to go down to where it says picture style. Now by default this is most likely going to be set to standard, and if you hit the info detail set, you're going to be able to see what your standard settings are in terms of the sharpness, strength, the contrast, saturation, and color tone. Now we're going to want to modify all of that, and we're going to do this by hitting that menu button to go back, and then we're going to go down to one of the user-defined settings. As you can see, my user-defined one is already set, so I'm using user-defined 2, but you can use any one that you want. Once you select the one you want, you don't want to hit OK. You want to hit detail set. Once we do, we're going to go in and we're going to see the settings are going to look just like on the standard profile. From there, we're going to go down to strength, as that is part of sharpness, and we're going to bring it down from the 4 that it is currently at down to 0. The next thing we're going to do is go to contrast, and we're going to set that from 0 to -1, and then hit OK. From there we go to saturation, and we're going to take that from 0 to +1. That's going to help a little bit with the color, especially skin tones. And the next thing we're going to do, which is also going to help with some of those things, is go into color tone, and we're going to set that from 0 to +1. Now there is one more setting which is not inside of these, so if you want to hit your menu button, you'll go back, hit OK to set it. Right below picture style, you're going to see clarity. You're going to want to go into clarity as it's set at 0 and push it up to +1 and then hit OK. Now from there, your color profile should be set and you can go out and start recording with your new settings. Alright, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Now I'm going to also put these settings down in my description. If you guys find these settings helpful, please let me know down in the comment section below. I would also recommend, if you don't have an R50, maybe try these settings for other cameras. Like I said, they were initially discovered on the Canon R6. I've used them on the R6 Mark II, I've used them on the R5, and now I've used them on the R50, and they work absolutely great for anybody who just wants to have a basic kind of run and gun, set it and forget it color profile that doesn't require a lot of thought, and it's not going to require a lot of editing and post. Now, as good as these settings look directly out of the camera, there is one thing I recommend. When you are in your video editing software, I like to go into my contrast setting and play with my contrast a little bit and maybe raise it a notch or two. And at least for me in this studio scene, it pulls up a little bit of the murkiness that I sometimes get from having the dark walls around me. Now that's going to vary from location to location, but it is something that you might want to look at. Play with your contrast once you get into post. Bump it up, bump it down, see how your video looks, and see if it improves any. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this Canon R50 video. I can't wait to keep putting more R50 content out on this channel for all of you. Again, if you have any recommendations, please post down in the comment section below. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please consider hitting that like button as well as subscribing to the channel. That way you don't miss any more videos just like this. And with that being said, until next time.